What's up, everybody? My name is Parasite. Welcome back to the Jose Mourinho Challenge with Sporting. Today we start our fourth full season here at Sporting, and we're starting for the first time in the Champions League qualifying rounds. Our league reputation went down because literally every single other club in this division is just garbage in Europe. So the second place finish isn't good enough to get group stage football anymore. So we're throwing it into the third qualifying round, and we're taking on AZ of the Dutch League. So both legs will be today. They actually are both games start before our first game of the season. We have played one game. We've also completed the offseason. There's still a bit of a transfer window left, but I've done all the offseason, and going into it, last episode I talked about needing, a midfielder that can, push the guys we have there and possibly compete for the starting job, and the same at center back. And possibly a right back if Aguilar left. Possibly a goalkeeper if we could see an improvement. Did we replace all of those players? Did we find all those positions? No. Did we find any? Also no. We have not signed a single player that is going to play in our first team probably at all this season. Because, like pretty much every offseason before this, if you're not in the top 5 league and you want to buy players that are actually kind of good right now, you're screwed. It's basically impossible. Because every single player that's able to come into this team and actually compete for a starting job, the team wants $60-70 million for, or the player wants $200K a week wages. It's just impossible. It's literally impossible. I found a couple players I really want, and they're not at good clubs. They're at clubs that, they should be able to leave from because they're never seeing European football for a while, at least knockout round football. And they do want to come here, but the teams are just completely unwilling to sell them for reasonable prices. And even the players think they're worth way more than they really are. So we have made a few signings, but one is just replacing a player that's left, and the other two are just regens, because that's literally all I can do. All I can do is sign decent regens from crappy leagues. And none of them are good enough to come into our first team anytime soon. So I can't even improve our first team that way. There is actually one really good regen. He's actually in Germany, but he plays for a crappy club. But they want $100 million for him. And he doesn't seem to care, even though he has, put up a fuss about wanting to leave. They put a price tag of $100 million on him. That's his release clause. They are unwilling to negotiate from that. And he doesn't really seem to care that much. So, super frustrating. The players we have signed, I'll go with the player that left first. Really only one player of note that left, and it's Martin Vandervort. He's been a baby his entire time here. He's either, played like garbage, or he's not played and cried like a little girl. So he said he was going to leave on a free at the end of his contract. I did not let that happen. I sold him for $12.25 million to Sheffield United. Kind of glad to have him out of the club. I've literally hated about every single moment he's been here. But we have brought in as a replacement. It is Marco Konosecki from Atalanta. $2 million, raising to $3 million. So we made pretty good profit on him, and we didn't really get any worse a goalkeeper. He's a solid goalkeeper, same sort of ability rating, same sort of potential, really good arrow reach, decent shot stopper. Really no part of his game is really that bad. 11 composure kind of holds him back a little bit. Not much of a distributor, but that doesn't really bother me that much. He's a pretty decent shot stopper. He's young. He's relatively cheap. He's on a lot more money than Vandervort was on, but that's kind of what you have to pay when you're at this level right now. So $35K a week is still pretty affordable, though. So he's come in to be our backup goalkeeper. He can kind of push our starter if he's struggling, but I don't know. I don't expect him to really take over the starting job, but anything's possible. The other two players we signed, both regens, from Partizan, Milicevic, a right back. Pretty good. 2-star current ability. If he had any aerial ability, he'd actually be a pretty good center back, but he's 5'8". So he's definitely not a center back, but pretty good physicals, really good mentals, some really good technicals. His offensive ability not great right now. 5 finishing, 6 dribbling, 8 crossing. But, on $950 a week, 18 years old, 13 under 21 caps for Serbia, 5-star potential. The other one, Davide Costarella from Empoli, another Italian goalkeeper, $1.1 million. He's just 16 years old. So he's only at 1-star current ability, but he has 5-star potential. So, yeah, I thought it was worth it. 14 reflexes, 13 1-on-1s, 15 command of area, 14 communication. At 16 years old, 6'2". I think he could be really good. I think that's a bargain. I think it was basically a compensation deal. So I snapped him up. Like I said, no other real big players have left. Quaresma played a few games for us, just as like a fifth, sixth center back. He wanted to leave, so he's went to Ipswich. Bruno Tavares, who was really only a wide option if we went back to the 4-2-3-1. I don't think we're going to be doing that, so I let him go. And everyone else is just kind of sucky backups. So, like B team players. If you look at our B team, we actually basically have gutted it. There's not a whole lot of players left there. Basically, anyone that's not good, which was most of the B team, I just let leave on the end of their deal. So, we did play one game of note. It was the Super Taka, and we did win, and it was another late winner. And of course, it was Alexander Sorloth. 90th minute winner for Alexander Sorloth to win the Super Taka for us, and it was fully deserved. The last match against Benfica in the Cup final was a hard-fought back-to-back match. This one, we absolutely destroyed them. We just absolutely dominated Benfica. It should have been over a lot further before that. 22 shots to 6, 5 shots to target to 2. I mean, 5 shots to target from 22 shots, definitely not good enough from Sorloth and Sesko. Their ratings before that goal were both really poor, but got a goal in the end, and we got the win. So that was good to see. Nice to get one over on Benfica. Hopefully it's going to set us up for a good league season. So we're playing AZ today in the qualifiers, and we've got pretty much the same squad you're used to. Literally no one new has come in on the bench or the starting lineup because it's impossible to bring in players that are good. Like, we saw that last year with Ruan. Like, he's just a solid player, and we had to pay quite a bit for him and decent wages. It was literally the best I can get, and nothing has changed. So, yeah, it's just made bringing in players nearly impossible. I had made kind of one change to the tactic. Something I noticed last time is I felt like Nunez wasn't getting involved enough further up the pitch. Like, he just wasn't getting key passes. He wasn't getting assists. He wasn't, doing anything like that. So I put him on an advanced playmaker. I think with Polina behind him, he should be able to get a little bit further forward. So we'll see if he gets a little bit more creative in the final third, gets a few more assists, maybe get some better ratings because, I don't know, see if the advanced playmaker is better than that deep lying playmaker. That's the only change I've made. I think since we're a better team now, we can make a change like that. But that's about it. Not much has gone on this offseason. Just a lot of advancing and a lot of frustration because... Actually, I want to show you the players that I wanted to sign. There's one guy, one region that's just amazing. But, like I said, they want $100 million for him. Center backs, just to look at the center backs we can get. Like, these are most of the guys that have any interest in them, in us, that are actually, have any footballing ability. 3-star players, for the most part, aren't really going to do anything for this club. They're not going to push the button or progress us any more than really are. And they're still $60 million. Like, the few that are good enough. Lacroix, his technicals and mentals aren't crazy, but 18 pace and 6'3". That's enough to make him useful. But they want $60 million. John Stone's pretty decent player. He is 31. They want $23 million for him, and he wants still to be paid $180,000 a week. So that's not happening. Other than that, any of these 3 stars that are good enough, like most of them are just bang on average, and they still want $30 million for, which would be a club record signing, and this doesn't make any sense. The only other really good 3-star one is Ibrahimo Konate, the former Liverpool man. They want $71 million, and he wants to be paid $200K a week. And guess what club he's at? Not Liverpool. Not Chelsea. He's at West Brom. And he's being paid $125K a week. Like $30K more than we are paying our best player. Like, that is the gap that we have right now. That shows how miraculous it was for us to get to a Champions League semifinal. That freaking the worst team in the Premier League is able to pay him $125K a week and wants $71 million for him. And he doesn't seem to care, and it's just impossible. The one guy I really wanted, though, was Benoit Badiashile. He's pretty much the only player that's actually good that, is not at a huge team and, that is reasonably priced. He's actually really freaking good. Like, his physicals are just nuts. 6'4" with all the physical ability, pace, strength, acceleration, 19 jumping reach. But they want $50 million. We actually agreed to do it, but he wanted like $170,000 a week. And obviously I wasn't doing that. And that was before any other team was interested in him. And currently he's got a transfer bid from Liverpool, so he's going to get that money, but not from us. But yeah, the other 3.5-star players, if you just look at these values, like 79, 95, 85, 102, 53, 78, 94. One kind of lower one, Valenti, he's in Argentina. They want 18 to 26 million, but I just don't think he's that good. Like, he's okay, he's solid, but he's not exceptional anywhere. He's got solid technicals. mentals are pretty poor, really. Physicals are decent, and his wages, he's already on 73K. He wants to be over 100K a week. He's not our best center back. I just can't justify it. Like all these other guys that would be probably our best center back, you see the values. 94 million for Mohamed Salisu. Like, that's just ridiculous. 63 million, 63, 56, 59, 126. It's absurd. Like Christian Romero. He's at Atalanta. He wants to leave. And they put a price of 97 million on him. And he doesn't seem to care. When your players want to leave and you set a price, you set it 20 million below their asking price and they come back crying, say, how dare you offer me out for so much money? But Christian Romero, they offer him out for $97 million and he doesn't seem to care. He has no negatives. He wants to leave, yet $97 million, that's great. That's fine. Sounds good to me. It's just ridiculous. It's impossible to sign good players. I'm going to show you this midfielder I really wanted. He's actually a regen. He might be the best regen currently in the game. Before we get to him, another guy I kind of wanted, Marcos Antonio. Really good central midfielder. He's currently at Barcelona. But that's an issue. $1.2 to $1.5 million a week for Marcos Antonio. And it's because Barcelona are already paying him a ridiculous $925,000 a week. If you wanted to know why Barcelona are in financial hell, that is why. He's good, but he's not Messi, and that's Messi numbers. So he's obviously not coming here. And anyone else that's good, of course, you see the prices are still the same for the most part. Adley, another guy we actually wanted to bring in, but he decided to go to Bayern Munich instead of us, kind of understanding. But everything above 3.5 stars, or 3.5 stars or above is like 70 to 100 million. Literally every single one. The guy I wanted, though, Johannes Maurer. He's naturally a striker, but he has 9 finishing. He's a midfielder. He's an attacking central midfielder, and he's pretty dang good for 19 years old. 5-star potential, 3-star current ability, but they want 100 million. It's his release clause. He wants to leave. He wants to join us. They're not letting him, and I don't think he's actually going to care. He wants to leave, but they're not moving from that $100 million, and in a month, he'll be happy again. It's just impossible. It's impossible to sign players. So we're left with this squad. Hopefully it's going to be good enough. I don't know what's going to change to be able to beat, teams like Liverpool. I mean, hopefully it's probably just going to be us, not having to face Liverpool. Somebody that's not quite as good knocking them out and giving us a little bit easier run to the final. I think that's the only thing that we can do, really, to try to win a Champions League final at this point, because bringing in players that are good enough is just not really an option. So you saw the squad. It's the squad to be expected. We better be getting through this. We got to a Champions League semifinal. We shouldn't have any problems against AZ. We're playing AZ back-to-back, so I want you to leave your mark here. Let's set ourselves up well for our home leg. The first goal is crucial, right? I'm hoping for a strong start and a positive approach, sure. Are you hopeful of performance today? I don't see why we're not capable of turning up and playing well here. What's the mood in the dressing room at the moment? We're in a great place. The atmosphere is really strong, and I think that shows on the pitch. All right, see what their lineup is. Borkov is actually a pretty good striker. Other than that, I don't know much of their players, so this shouldn't be that tough. If we're able to compete with the likes of Liverpool, we should smash teams like this. I mean, it's ridiculous in the first place that a team that was 2 goals away from potentially getting to a Champions League final has to play through the qualifiers to get to the next Champions League group stage. It's just a ridiculous situation, but one we're in, and we've already been drawn who we're going to see in the next leg if we do get through. It's either AEK or Dynamo Kyiv, so it's probably going to be Dynamo Kyiv. Another team that I think we should be able to comfortably beat, but not an easy challenge even. AEK have actually taken the lead, though. And in our game, nothing has happened. Our first highlight's 24 minutes in, and it's starting with us winning the ball defensively. Playing the ball between our left back, center backs, defensive midfielder. Playing the ball pretty well, actually, in our defense. Not something we're really kind of used to with this team. We're kind of a more direct team, more high tempo, get the ball to the strikers as quick as possible. Sesko with a very good touchdown, but a ridiculous save from their goalkeeper. And he's going to put it back in. Sorloth, not great positioning. Doesn't put Sorloth in a great position to be able to finish that, and neither does Berben Johannesson, but I think Sesko is offside, and it's going to be over for the highlight. Well, that was one of the worst first halves I've ever seen. We just dominated a really good Benfica team. We're coming off a year where we beat Dortmund and Leipzig and gave Liverpool a hell of a game, and we're not able to beat AZ. they had ridiculous possession, which is typically the case for every team playing us, but like we're not playing well. Like we're really bad right now, and I don't understand why. That isn't good enough. Absolutely unacceptable. Your lack of creativity was shocking. We are so much better than we looked in that first half. You're going to have to show it in this second half. 60 minutes in, and we've still done absolutely nothing. We've had one shot. Our entire front line is just absolute garbage. 6.5, 6.3, 6.5, 6.6? What is going on? Why are they so bad right now? This is one of the worst games I've seen our attack play, like, my entire time here. And it's against freaking AZ. Like, we played better against Liverpool. Santos is coming in for Tabata. Tabata's been just absolutely dreadful, so he has to come out. I think that's the only change I'm going to make now. We don't have DK. He's just coming off of international duty, and he's not fit. So Tomas is our option off the bench, and he probably will be coming on at some point, because unless these guys step up. They showed they can do it, but just going forward, we've been so bad recently. 75 minutes in, we've actually had quite a few shots recently, but none worthy of a highlight. So what's the freaking point? I'm going attacking. I'm going to berate the team because they have been dreadful, and subs are going to have to be made. Sesko. I mean, Nunez, awful as well. What change do I make? Yeah, Sesko's nervous. Get off my freaking pitch. Other sub, I mean, I think I'll probably wait a little bit. I think we only have 3 subs, so I don't really want to make them all right now, especially in case we get an injury. But in terms of the way we're playing, I'm going to be more expressive. We need to create something. I mean, we've had 12 shots and only put 3 on target. That itself is unacceptable, and basically the same thing we've seen all season long from this freaking team, but my entire time here. They can't put their freaking shots on target, but we're not creating a lot. Our XG's not that high. Just going forward, we've been just dreadful. Our first highlight of the second half is 82 minutes in, and it's a free kick, which we know isn't going to be a direct goal, but it is going to end up in a goal. And Ignacio is going to be offside. Wow, what are you doing? I don't understand his thought process there. He's literally just standing offside. And that's the only highlight we're going to get in this entire second half. We only had 2 highlights the first half. This has been one of the worst performances I've ever seen from this team. We're not getting dominated, but we're not playing well against a bad team. And we're not going to get another highlight. The first leg is going to end 0-0. What a pathetic performance. I'm really not happy about that. We should have won that just based on the numbers. That might be the easiest team you're going to face in this competition. And you play like that? If you keep playing like that, we're not just not going to be able to get to a Champions League semifinal again. We might not make the group stage. Figure it out. Nuno Santos only out 5 to 8 days, but that probably will mean he's going to miss the next leg. We've got 7 days until the next match. He probably won't be available, but everyone else should be fit and ready. But they're going to have to be a lot better because that was dreadful. I mean, if that's how we play against a team the quality of AZ, we're going to get absolutely smashed by actually good teams if we do even can make it to the group stage. That is not encouraging. And we are back for the second leg against AZ. I talked earlier about how I couldn't buy any single player. Also, I've had basically a team come in for almost every single one of my players, it feels like. At least every starter. Like Souza, they've come in wanting him. Aguilar, recently a couple bids have come in for him. Ignacio, some bids have come in. Bergman Johannesson, quite a few bids have come in. Gonzalez has had bids. Nunez has had bids. Tabata's had bids. Storlos had bids. Sesko, I think, has been bid on every single day of the offseason. And, dude, they will not give up. Everyone seems to want Sesko. Understandably, but... And the prices don't even make sense. Bayern Munich have come in for him a lot. Bayern desperately wants Sesko. And, they bid quite a bit, and their bids would gradually go up. Eventually got, around 90-some million, which is a lot of money, but he's literally irreplaceable. He's my best player, and I literally cannot replace him. So I don't want to sell him. But I turned down their $90 million bid, and then 2 weeks later, they came back in at $40 million. I rejected 90. I don't think I'm going to suddenly accept 40, so I don't know what you're on. But, yeah, he's unhappy. He wants to... It's actually Chelsea that came in that he really wanted to join. Caceres, teams will come in for him. He wants to join them, but, players that are transfer listed by request by other teams, they're transfer listed at 30 times their value and they don't seem to care. Caceres wants me to let him go for less than I paid for him, and is just absolutely shocked that I won't let him go for that. Like, it just doesn't make any freaking sense. Like, he's just so unhappy that I won't let him go for like $10 million. I'm like, dude, no. It's so hard this year. It's so hard at a non-top 5 league to, keep good players and to buy players that have any sort of quality. But it might be even harder if we don't win this match. Because if we don't have Champions League football, we are screwed. Like, if it's this hard after just getting to the semifinals of a Champions League, imagine only being in the Europa League. We'll only be able to sign, like, freaking third stringers at second division clubs. I don't know. Hopefully we play better today, though, because that last match was shocking. This is a match we should be winning. Make sure we do. You're going to be much better than you played last time out, though. That was unacceptable. Don't think you can just mail this in and still get the win. AZ are going to be hungry. They're going to be pushing for it. They want to win this match. Nobody cares that we made it to the semifinal last year. That match doesn't matter anymore. The only match that matters is the next one on our schedule. So you're going to have to step up today. How do you feel ahead of the second match against AZ in quick succession? I think it'll be mostly the same as last time out. Both teams know way too much about each other to give anything away. Can you talk about Bruno Tabatta's versatility and how important it is for you? He's a brilliant player, and we're so much better for having him. Does Hugo Sousa have a chance here to earn more playing time by pressing in the cup? You do know he's our starter, right? I'm just going to ignore that. You know he started basically every game for us last season, and that's not about to change unless he plays really poorly. First highlight this match is only 9 minutes in. It took a while for anything to really happen last time out. We have our first chance and our first goal after 9 minutes. Already much better. And it's Benjamin Sesko. Of course it is. He might be unhappy, but he's still far too good to not just bang in goals. And I think it was Mateus Nunes playing that advanced playmaker role. It's kind of off a set piece, so I don't think the role had a lot to do there. Maybe it made him look a little bit more positively with his passes, look for that more dangerous pass than typically he would as a deep-lying playmaker possibly, but I don't know, we'll see. We'll see over the course of the season if that change to advanced playmaker really makes a big difference. A second highlight, 16 minutes in, is going to be with us again. A throw in down this right-hand side. Ruben Aguilar, who we thought might leave. We've only had a couple bids for him, and we've turned him down, and he hasn't seemed too unhappy. The bids have not been very good either. We paid like $9 million for him. They want him for like $4 million. Like, just no. He's been really good. He was a starter for a team that got to a Champions League semifinal. I know he's 31 years old, but he's worth a lot more than $4 million. We're going to win the ball again here. We gave the ball away, but we got it back. Tabata, need to see him perform today. Sorloth, Sesko, what a save that is. The positioning of the shot wasn't great, but still, it took quite a good save. We have another chance, though. Benjamin, I thought Sorloth was, or not Sorloth, Johannes was going to go for the goal there. And he gets taken down, but apparently it wasn't a penalty. 27 minutes in, and another highlight. They keep coming. Sesko on the ball down this right-hand side. A lot of throw-ins from this right-hand side. And Berben Johannesson wins this after the ball goes over the top. Mateus Nunes, playing as that advanced playmaker. Playing a little bit further forward, I think, than he typically was. Aguilar, looking for a ball across, but it gets blocked. They have a lot of men in the box. He's going to find Tabata. Not the typical guy you look for a cross into the box, but it was more of a cutback. Tabata scores. I mean, he's not a great goal scorer. He's scored a fair few goals for us. He's probably been like our third top goal scorer the past couple of years, but obviously not near the levels of Sesko and Sorloth. But I do need him to step up with the odd goal. Usually he's just an assist merchant, but he gets the goal this time. We go 2-0 up. This has been a much better performance. And another highlight. This time a goal kick, and we should be winning this. And we do. It goes to Inacio. Pedro Gonçalves looking for Sesko. We are just attacking the crap out of AZ right now. Just unstoppable right now. Berben Johannesson down this left-hand side. Going to put a cross in. Goes a little bit further than it probably should. Sesko picks it up. Back to Sorloth. And the Sesko cross into the box. Finished by Sorloth. Reminiscent of that Taça de Portugal final. Where Sesko, not a cross that time, more of a pass, but through ball maybe even. But it's Sesko combining with Sorloth to score the goal. I mean, keeper just kind of flops at it. I feel like he could have done a little bit better there. I know it wasn't a great height for him, but yeah, not great goalkeeping. Sorloth, good header though. Definitely onside. This guy keeping him on. Good header, but you should not miss from that range. Looks like that might be the end of the first half. They were about a dozen highlights there. I don't know if I included all of them in the edit, but yeah, it seemed like it was just us putting shots on goal like non-stop that match. 7 shots on target, 12 shots total. They had 1. They didn't do anything. Possession, not in our favor, but still not too bad for the way we play. But, I mean, yeah, the fact we were so attacking, put so many shots in, and got a fair few on target, a much better performance from last time out. This gives me a little bit of hope for this season. We're ahead on the scoreboard, and definitely deserve to be, based on how much we've created. So I am pleased. That was much better. But it's not going to stop there. We got to set a tone for the rest of this season. I'm going to slow things up a little bit in terms of our pressing intensity. You know, we've got a lot of season left, but that doesn't mean we still can't look to attack. I still want you to play with positivity and try to score some more goals. 55th minute, we're going to have our first highlight of the second half. It's going to be a goal kick from AZ, but it's going to go right back to us. I'm hoping for another good half from us. I don't want us to see us just do it in one half spurts. I mean, you can win a match in a half, but I'd like to see more complete performances from this team because we're going to face a lot better teams in this season. If we can get as far as I know we should be getting. Another kick from their goalkeeper, and it goes right back to us. Sesko gets played through on goal. He's going to have a chance, but what a save, dude. I mean, he might have conceded 3, but that Dominic guy has made some ridiculous saves today. And we're going to see the corner, though. Tabata's going to take it. He gets quite a few of his assists here from the corners. Not this time, though. Sesko heads it over. 70th minute. I think we're going to be good here. They only have 1 shot this half, and we've been pretty good still. We've not scored, even though we've had quite a few shots. So that's a little disappointing. Polina on a yellow. He's going to come out for Dyer. And who else do I really want to give a rest to? Probably Sesko. I mean, like I've mentioned many times, he's our best player. So I did make kind of a mistake. I didn't put, what's his name? DK. I didn't put DK on the bench. He's actually fit, but I just forgot to put him on the bench. But fortunately, we didn't end up needing him. 82nd minute now. I've really backed things off. I'm going to go complete, time wasting and just as low a tempo as possible. I want to keep these players as fresh as I can. I don't want to risk injuries. We've got a lot of tired players, though, and I do need to make it one last sub. In terms of who's going to sub off, I mean, I think it's probably going to be Gonzalez. Tabata, if he was a little bit more tired, he's more important, but Gonzalez is a very important part of that midfield, even though he doesn't always perform quite at the level he should. So what I'd like to do, the best way to completely lower the intensity, what you're looking for is as low of an intensity as possible. And if you lower their mentality, the intensity goes down. So you want to lower the mentality as far as you can. Obviously, as low of a tempo as you can. Shorter passing doesn't really change the intensity, but it just kind of makes sense. And just be a little bit more time wasting. Look to hold on to the ball a little bit. Not really the way we play, but at this point, I think we're going to be okay. Slow the pace down. Roll it out. Somebody at the back. Another way to lower the intensity is to regroup. Lowers the intensity a little bit. Hold shape. Lowers the intensity a little bit. And of course, all the way down with the pressing. I'm already staying on feet. The line doesn't really change, but it makes sense that you'd press a little bit less with the lower line. So I'll go lower line of engagement and a slightly lower defensive line. I think that's about all I can do. I think that's about as low of intensity as you can get. So let's just see this game out. Good win. Encouraging, because we're going to have to be really good. I mean, hopefully we can get a little bit easier draws if we do get pretty far in the Champions League again, but we're still going to have to play better if we're going to get to a final and possibly win it. 2 minutes of added time left, and we're going to have a corner. It's actually a throw-in. Aguilar to throw it in. Dyer, it's actually from our own defense, so I actually thought we were kind of attacking right now, but we actually give the ball away, but a good tackle. Is that Ignacio? I think that was Ignacio. Very good tackle by Ignacio. We didn't score quite as many goals as I'd like to see in that second half. We scored 0. We had 8 shots. But, I don't know. It's all right. We had the lead. Didn't really need to score. Would like to see us play a little bit better in, the entirety of a match. Not just one half. But the performances were good. Even that second half, the performances were still good. Just couldn't quite finish our chances. But encouraging. Good win. We are on to the playoff, I believe. The last game, or last tie, before we get to the group stage. We better make it to the group stage. Nice work, everyone. That was good. I felt like we probably should have scored 1 or 2 more goals in that second half, but you kept creating, and you kept your defensive shape. That's what's most important. I want to see you playing with positivity over the course of an entire match, but we do need to still be a little bit more clinical in those chances. We're not always going to be able to get away with it just playing one half of a match. That was good. We're on to the next round. We are one two-legged tie away from making it back to the group stage. And from there, anything can happen. Let's push on and make this a really successful season. Benjamin Sesko's strike gave you an early lead there. Did you feel it'd be a good day for your side when you saw that one go in? I was keen for us to get off to a good start, and that goal was the perfect way to do so. Only one question. Okay. So let's see if we see the result from the other leg. It's Kyiv we will be facing. They beat AEK 4-3. They actually, 2-0 win for AEK at home, but then a 4-1 loss away from home, and it's a 92nd minute goal that wins it for Kyiv. They scored in the 88th and 92nd minute to advance to the next round. I got a feel for AEK there, and a little bit for us, because I would have much rather played AEK than Dynamo Kyiv. But we still should be doing fine against either. We are the better team. Should still be playing well. Should still be getting through that. But it's not going to be easy. So you see here, we do in fact get Dynamo Kyiv in the League Path playoff of the Champions League. The match is the 19th, so it's coming pretty quick. We're currently on the 13th, which is actually my birthday. So we actually won that match on my birthday. That's nice. Sesko on form gets a goal and an assist. Good game from him. Good game from Mateus Nunez as well. I thought he played really well. So that was good to see. Brimmer, again, another center back option that I just don't know if he moves the needle a lot for us. I think he is good, but he's on 88K a week. They seem to always want to wage rise. They don't care that they're coming to the Portuguese league. Every player that moves clubs thinks they should always be getting a pay rise. So I just don't think we'll be able to afford him in terms of wages, at least. I mean, he's transferred this by request. That doesn't mean anything. They could still ask for $100 million from him, and I wouldn't be surprised. We've still got a transfer window to go, though. We're still not done. We still have a chance of bringing in some players. Hopefully, once we get closer to the deadline day, some more players will become available for reasonable prices. But we'll see. We don't have long until this Kyiv game. Only one game in the league between that and our next game, but I don't think I would come back for both legs because we also have Benfica coming up. At home, a huge match, obviously. They're the team that I think is, again, going to compete closest with us for the title this year. The last two seasons, it's always been us and Benfica. Porto been a little bit off the pace for both seasons, so I don't expect much to change this year. So this is going to be a very important match in the league. Obviously, Kyiv, kind of a must-win if we're going to get to the group stage. So I'll come back for that. Hopefully you're ready for it, because I don't know if I am. But I'll see you then. That's going to be the end of this episode. If you made it this far, why don't you like the video, subscribe, and click the bell? The links to all my socials and my Twitch are in the description. I really appreciate all your support. Thank you all for joining me, and I'll see you next time.